Okay, for this exercise, what we are going to do is learn how to create a simple flyer in Google Docs. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to start with your Google account already signed in. And you're going to make sure that you have your initials up here in the upper right hand corner, or you have some sort of picture that you've put there. There's another video that I have for putting pictures here. We're going to go into Google Docs in two ways. We can click the waffle right up here in the upper right hand corner and click on Google Docs. That'll take us right into Google Docs, or we could always type in docs.google.com right up in the address bar of our website. First thing we're going to do is take a look and see what the environment looks like inside of Google Docs. We've got some templates here that you might want to follow. If you have any kind of project that you need to work on, just click on the template gallery and look through the different types of templates they have. They have resumes and business letters and NDA notices and meeting notes and all kinds of different templates that you could use. But for the purposes of our activity today, we're going to start with a blank document. And what I'm going to do is we are going to research or put together a small flyer about a particular animal. My animal that I'm going to pick is the backyard California lizard. So I'm just going to type in, and I've already started working on my document. The next thing I want to do is take a moment to look at some of the features that Google Docs has for me. So now that I've gotten some text in there, that's pretty exciting. I can go up to the file menu and notice there is no save. There is no save in the file menu. That's because every 5 seconds your Google Doc is being saved in the Google Drive cloud. So you don't need to worry about ever saving your document. I am, however, going to name it, and I'm going to name it the California Backyard Lizard. So that's the name of my document. And if I were to leave this document right now, like I can type in California Backyard Lizard, hit the enter key to confirm that that is the name that I'd like to have for this particular document. But again, this document does not need to be saved because it already is in Google Drive, already saved. So all I have to do to go and find it, if I was to close this document and then go look for it, I could easily just go to Google Drive and type California Backyard Lizard is already appearing right here. And there it is in Google Drive. The next thing I want to do is put my cursor or my mouse at the end of lizard. And I would like to put a little image of the California Backyard Lizard in my document. So I'm just going up to the insert menu and saying insert image. I'm going to search the web for an image. And I'll go ahead and type California Backyard Lizard. These creatures are all over my backyard and they're so interesting to watch cruise around. So there's my California Backyard Lizard, and notice where my cursor is. Now, my cursor is at the end of this document. If I hit the enter key and go down a couple steps, then my cursor lands at the front of on the left-hand side of the document. From here, I could type fun facts about lizards. And now I need to collect some information or a little bit of data to put into my fun facts about lizards. And how am I going to do that? I personally don't know a lot about lizards. They lay around on rocks and hang out. So I'm going to go up to my new tab button up at the top here. And I'm just going to type in fun facts about California. And I'll go down to a little information from the University of California at Riverside, and I'll just scroll down to some interesting information here that I can pick up about lizards. So I'm just going to copy this chunk of data here, and that's about pests. I don't want to copy that. So I want to copy and paste some information about lizards into my document. I'm just going to grab a little section of it here, no problem there. Copy. And then I'm going to jump back to my California backyard lizards sheet over in Google Docs. And this time I copied that data from the internet. So now I'm going to go over to Edit, Paste without formatting. If I just click Paste, then I'm going to paste all of the extraneous code that the HTML has from the other website. If I say paste without formatting, it's just going to come through with some simple text, and that's all I want. So there's my text that I brought in. And let's say I'd like to change this text to 2 columns. Let's say I'd like both these paragraphs each to be in their own column. It's not really going to work out that way. Let's pretend that I'd like to have each of these paragraphs. I'd like to put this chunk of data that I've just collected into 2 paragraphs. And the way I'm going to do that is by breaking apart this page. I've got to tell the computer that I would like to have this be a 2-column bit of information starting right here. So right here, I'm going to go up to Insert, Break, Continuous Section Break. And now I can tell this chunk of data to go into 2 columns. And I'm going to find my 2 columns under the Format menu, Columns, 2 columns. And now you should see that my document broke up into 2 columns. There we go. I'm just going to bring this data down just a little bit by putting my mouse next to that. There we go. And if I would prefer to have that second paragraph snake around, I can just keep hitting my Enter key, and then I've got 2 columns on this little informational bit about lizards. Now let's fancy this page up a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and click on the lizard and decide that I'd like to have it centered. So I'm looking up at the top of the screen where I can see the alignment button. The alignment button lives at the top. There we go. I put my California backyard lizard right in the center of my document. Now I'd like to title this with like a header type of font. And I'm going to go up to where it says normal text. And I'm choosing a style called title. I'm going to apply the title and then ask it to be in the center. It looks pretty good so far. The next thing I'd like to do is to format this so that it looks a little bit more interesting. I'm going to format it as heading 2, and it lands right there in the center. Let's make sure that is actually in the center by copying it, dragging it up right beneath where the lizard lives, and then it pops to the top. So I'm going to do a Command Z and undo what I just did. So I'm going to hit the backspace key several times until I can get this in the center. So I'm going to choose the Center Justify button, and it puts the fun facts about lizards right in the center of that particular document. This is a 1-page document. I would like to put a footer on this. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go Insert, Headers and Footers, and I'd like to put a page number at the bottom of this. I'm going to put a footer at the bottom, and I would like the footer to be centered in the middle of the document. So I'm going to say, all about California backyard lizards. Page 101. And now I've just created a simple small document that I could share with somebody else by clicking the share button in the upper right hand corner, clicking on the share button. And if I'd like to share this with somebody, I just need to put their email address in right up at the top here, and that would share it with the other person. I'm not going to share it with anybody, so I'm going to click done. There's a couple more things I might want to do with this. Maybe I'd like to send this to somebody who I don't know if they have Google Docs or Microsoft Word. I'm not sure how they're going to view this particular image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Download, and download this as a PDF. So once I download this as a PDF, the PDF goes up into my downloads folder, and now all I would have to do is email it to somebody as an attachment. This is how I would do that. I would open up a new tab on my screen and then go to Gmail, open up my Gmail, compose this message, click the Attachment Files button, that's the paperclip down at the bottom, and there is my PDF right there in my downloads folder. The California Backyard Lizard has been attached to this document, and now I can send it along.